school teacher in Miami-Dade that the teacher attended his immigration hearing and was detained. He had been in the U.S. since his youth and had DACA. He will likely be deported. Wait, how? This doesn't make sense. So that's the way I see it with respect to Donald Trump and his ambitions in Gaza. When he says he's going to do something, it's a matter of how much of a stink people can put in front of that. How much mass mobilization will occur? How much the Democrats will try to throw procedural hurdles in the way? That's it. It's not a matter of like, will Trump do it if left on his own? The answer is yes. That's it. That's always the case.
One day. Among their grievances, the president's crackdown on illegal immigration. On that last note, tonight we have a new report showing how that can impact legal migrants with visas who keep America's farms running. CNN's David Culver reports.
Calling out to us from the back of the bus, Juan Manuel Cisneros shows us what he describes as his American dream come true.
Pues aquí está, que estoy legalmente aquí en este país.
I said, do you always carry that document?
The Netherlands about to find out when the U.S. wasn't around with the Hague Invasion Act? No, you don't understand. That's why I'm saying there's obviously hurdles in front of that sort of thing. Like invading the Netherlands would be insane. But then again, Trump is crazy. But who knows? I don't think it's the case. I don't think it'll,
because if anything happens, he can pull it out and say,
it seems unlikely, but who knows?
Everyone on this bus can say the same. They're farm workers here on H-2A visas, which allow foreign workers to fill temporary or seasonal agricultural jobs.
They come here for about 8 months. All the folks on this bus who are on their lunch break are from Mexico. He says they're able to work the field, and as he sees it, it's a good solution to be able to make money and yet at the same time be here legally.
But with that visa comes grueling work.
Nobody local wants to work in agriculture harvesting crop. Nobody. These are hardworking, able-bodied men, and that's what they're doing. They're doing manual labor.
And they're doing it in a place that might surprise you.
That's east.
Yeah.
If I go far enough, I'll hit Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, you will.
You need only travel about 40 miles from here, as Roth Farms sits just on the western edge of Palm Beach County, Florida.
It certainly doesn't feel like the beaches of Palm Beach.
But it has the weather.
Which can be brutally hot and humid for those working these fields. Yet despite his need for a reliable and cost-efficient workforce, Roth says he supports President Trump's stance on immigration.
Is it going to get more difficult to get workers, you think, under President Trump and the crackdown on immigration?
No, I think it actually will get easier. We just want people to be vetted, and we want good workers that are come out here.
So the H-2A visa program may seem like a perfect solution to keep predominantly migrant workers employed on farms like this one here in Florida. But critics point out that it doesn't cover every person or every situation. Say, for example, those migrants who are fleeing violent and dangerous situations and don't have a home to go back to once the season's over. Or those who simply want to live and work with their families in the U.S. And then you've got small farmers who say that the program is just way too costly and way too complicated.
For now, though, Roth sees H-2A visas as the best way to keep U.S. farms running. He hires a third-party company to handle the logistics. They recruit the workers from abroad and then place them at several different farms, including Roth's.
You hire them in Mexico and you transport them over here. You pay all the transportation
You're
costs.
paying for that.
I pay all the transportation costs. We put them up in housing. We pay all the housing costs. The only thing we're allowed to charge them for is the cost of the food when we feed them.
So what is it like for these workers?
So here it is about 5 o'clock in the evening, and these workers have just finished their shift at Roth Farms. They're arriving back at their housing complex.
Juan Manuel and the others invite us to meet them after their workday is over.
¿Cómo está?
Bien, bien.
Yeah? What do you do this time of the day? Yeah, when you get here from work.
Comedor a las 6 de la tarde, llegamos a comer.
Dinner's at 6?
Sí.
We can go with him. He's inviting us up. Well, muchas camas aquí, ¿no? They've been working 10 hours today. They work 6, sometimes 7 days a week. They have just a few things that they need, a few changes of clothes, some snacks, and not much privacy.
Juan Manuel shows us his setup.
Nada
No.
de la familia.
No traje nada.
He says what he makes is about $16 an hour. So here, what you make in an hour, as he puts it, is an entire day's work in Mexico.
This is his third year on the visa.
HasanAbi watches Republicans destroy the government, violently deport people, and escalate Palestinian genocide. How could Democrats do this? Who lost to the Republican Party on an incredibly defeatable candidate? Who is having a very difficult time even actively getting together to combat some of the aspects of this administration currently? Saying that, at least in this community, a somewhat knowledgeable community on the political process, is also silly, considering that the Laken-Riley Act didn't just pass with Republican votes. The Laken-Riley Act passed with Democrats voting for it. Somewhat knowledgeable? Yeah, no. Bound Diesel is the most knowledgeable. Why do Democrats act like they won the election? Like, they're so smug. They literally behave as though they won the fucking election. Maybe in the process, they got so used to advocating for Republican positions that it kind of feels like they won, you know? Even though they lost. On the policy front, they're getting, you know, an even more aggressive version of the agenda that the Democrats were advancing. It really doesn't make sense.
The work program.
He said the money that he makes here, he's able to support his family in Mexico as well, brother and sister.
Para poder sobrevivir.
And he said that's what you need to do to survive. You can see all the workers now are gathering from all the different buildings. Most of them all work at different sites, but they come together to eat and then sleep. And then they will be back at it on the fields in about 10, 11 hours from now.
David, the farmers you talked to, do they believe that President Trump would support expanding this program, especially given his belief that foreign workers are taking American jobs?
The farmers that we spoke with, as they support President Trump, they also believe that he has to move forward with this Anderson. They say, really, you look at the food supply in this country, and it is reliant on these workers. The visa program, though, has its limitations. They say under the Department of Labor, it is just really cumbersome, really complicated, and they say it's got to be made cheaper, particularly when you think about those smaller farmers.
David Culver, appreciate the report. Thank you.
In the final campaign stretch, Trump's focused relentlessly on immigration, and it has gotten ugly.
They're coming from 181 countries as of yesterday. Right, and we're a dumping ground. We're like a.
This is a re-upload. We've seen this already.
I knew that there was going to be chaos. I had no idea how bad it was going to be.
An American city suddenly thrust into a political firestorm.
The small city of Springfield, Ohio.
I'm eating my Japanese haichu for those wondering.
Maybe you remember it.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people.
John Oliver sneaky like that? Yeah. ICE has detained a middle school teacher in Miami-Dade. That the teacher attended his immigration hearing and was detained. He had been in the U.S. since his youth and had DACA. He will likely be deported. Wait, how? This doesn't make sense. He can't even have a DUI, so how did he become a teacher if he's undocumented? DACA. Insane. This person is not undocumented. This person is literally documented. They have deferred action on childhood arrival. It's DACA. If you come into this country as a child, although our system is f***less and cruel, the Obama administration, at the very least, created this process where, you know, you're functionally stateless at that point. It would be usual if you were to be deported from this country that you grew up in. I was deported after DACA renewal denied during 2018. I lost my DACA because of DUIs, and I have a deportation order 25 years down the drain. In order for you to keep your DACA renewed, you literally have to abide by insanely, unnecessarily restrictive standards. Like you get a college education. You have to have a job. You can't leave the country. There are so many different rules that you need to abide by. If you get any sort of, if you get into trouble with the law, you will lose your status. You need to pay a lawyer. The fact that this person was a teacher and had the proper documentation and was detained, I think, during a court proceeding. Yeah. Or no, never mind. After they were detained by U.S. Customs Immigration Enforcement officials, the teachers union confirmed Thursday. And this is crazy. It's right there in the middle. Where does it say? Oh, they were detained at an immigration hearing. Oh my God, I kept missing it. I might be a little tired. Sorry. At an immigration hearing? That is insane. Hasan, over here in Chicago, I was literally going door to door. A lot have no criminal background. The only good thing is community here have been teaching them not to open the door without a warrant. Yeah, they're very mad about that. They've been getting really, really upset about that. The fact that, like, people have taught undocumented immigrants their rights. Yeah, nothing scarier than an informed public that forces these Gestapo members to at least abide by the existing laws for the time being as those laws continue to exist. Here's another story that I wanted to cover as well. Man falsely poses as immigration agent and traps Latino men in their car.
You got caught, Mo. Where you from? Mexico? You from Mexico? You're going back.
A South Carolina man has been charged with kidnapping and impersonating a police officer after officials say he detained a group.
Of course he's been arrested. You can't impersonate a federal law enforcement officer. Chatters, are you kidding me? I'm sure they'll deputize people soon. There's like a bounty system some of these states want to implement. But even in that structure, you cannot portray yourself as a court-ordered law enforcement, federal law enforcement officer.
Group of Latino men in Charleston County, South Carolina. 33-year-old Sean Michael Johnson is accused of willfully and unlawfully presenting himself as an ICE agent and detaining a vehicle of individuals from moving, according to court records.
No, you cannot drive, bro. You have not a license. You have no license. Going back.
In addition to taking their keys, Johnson also blocked the men's car with his van, so they could not drive away, according to court documents.
You know, if you don't have a license, you cannot drive a car in the United States. No, it's over. It's over. Hey, don't be speaking that pig Latin in my country, bro. Be speaking that.
I mean, this is literally a hate crime, too, on top of everything else. Like, what are we doing here? I can't say what I think for I want to evade a ban, but goddamn. And neither can you, chat. People tell me I'm crazy for saying re-education camps. What do you do with this guy? Re-education camp for this guy is an infinitely better solution than what most people would advocate for. You know?
That pig Latin here.
Johnson was charged with 3 counts of kidnapping and 1 count each of impersonating a law enforcement officer, petty larceny, assault, and battery, according to jail records. The men in the vehicle are not facing charges, according to local police.
Have fun.
Johnson posted a bond of over $230,000 and was released from jail, according to online court records. In a court appearance, his family pleaded with the judge.
Who fronted him the 23 grand? Oh my God, does he come from a rich family too?
Saying that their son has mental health issues and has tried to get help in the past, but he needs to continue with that therapy, according to CNN affiliate WCIV. CNN has been unable to locate an attorney for Johnson.
Wait, no, he needs 23 for 2,300. You're right, not 23,000, right? Is it 2,300 for 230,000 or is it 23,000 for 230,000? I think it's 23K. Yeah. I got it right. No hate crime charges like this are unironic consequences of Trump's attack on everything is DEI. I know, chatters. I know the bail. The bail is you don't pay the full price. You usually pay 10%. You front it to a bail bondsman. You front the 10% to a bail bondsman and he covers the rest. And then if you actually don't attend your court date or whatever, then that's when bounty hunters come in. An insane process, but the bond is 10% of that.